Okay, the tennis grips. We don't need to overcomplicate the tennis grips with all the names that coaches call these: Eastern, Hawaiian, Continental, Western. We just need to understand the principle behind the grips, in that when we make a tennis stroke, if we were just to use our hands to hit the ball, our palm would be facing the net and make the contact to the back of the ball. That's the most efficient way to make contact. So we want the tennis racket, we want the strings to be facing our target. So we want the strings to be pretty much vertical at contact. So if we were able to find that position, which is just slightly out in front of the torso, and we were to put our palms like we were going to hit the ball, that's how you find your grip. If I was to hit a ball with my hand and then place the strings where contact would be made, and just put my hand where my palm would be facing contact, that would be the right grip for the forehand. Now for the backhand, it's the same thing, but we want to focus more on our left hand, because the backhand is more of a left-handed forehand with support and guidance from the right hand. So same situation. If we put the strings where contact would be made, just slightly out in front of our torso. If we were to hit a ball with our palm with our left hand, and then bring that and put it on the racket, then you found your left hand grip for the backhand, and then the right hand really just opposes that. So that gives you the two most common grips for the forehand and the backhand, and the easiest way to find them. For the ready position, we want to stand with our feet about shoulder width apart. We want to get our weight on the balls of our feet, and we want to bend our knees, okay? We want our elbows to just kind of hang down. We don't want them to be back. We want them to be slightly in front of our torso, and we want the racket head to be slightly above the handle. We want to weight in that neutral position, kind of in between the forehand grip and the backhand grip. Now, once we find this ready position, if we're receiving a forehand, we want to turn and pivot, but we want to prepare at the same time. And the main thing that we want to focus in on the prepare is raising the elbows. If I'm getting a forehand, I'm going to pivot my feet, meaning I'm going to slightly turn to the direction that my contact is, and I'm going to raise my elbows just slightly. Now, from here, from this raised elbow position, I can walk, I can move, I can make adjustment steps. And that's the most common footwork pattern that we're going to make for ground strokes, is called walking steps. But we want to make sure that we're preloaded, okay? And that preload is really just raising these elbows and a slight turn of the shoulders, okay? In other words, I didn't really take my racket back. I really just raised my elbows and turned my shoulders, okay? So from the ready position, moving to a backhand, we're going to have our feet shoulder width apart, our weight about 80% on the balls of our feet, racket tip above the handle, hands in a neutral position. As we recognize we're receiving a backhand, we're simply going to turn and pivot our feet, okay? So I didn't take the racket back with my hands. I just turned and I pivoted my feet. So I turned my feet to where it would be comfortable to walk. So now I'm in a preloaded position. Racket head is still above the handle. I haven't taken the racket back yet, but I've preloaded. So I've taken my shoulders back just a little bit, okay? And I've pivoted my feet. Now I can walk to the ball. I can walk to a backhand. As the ball is coming a little closer, after the bounce, then we'll take the racket back slightly. We'll take a little right foot step and swing out to contact and finish over our right shoulder, and let our left leg come around as part of the follow through, right? Okay? So we're receiving a backhand, we're going to pivot, we're going to turn, we're going to make walking adjustment steps, we're going to find that contact point, and we're going to take a half a step with our right foot with our toe pointing more down court. Take the racket back. We're going to swing out to contact and let that left foot come around as part of the follow through, and we're going to finish over the shoulder. Okay, when receiving a forehand out of the ready position, feet about shoulder width apart, about 80% of our weight on our toes, racket tip above the handle. We're going to preload and we're going to pivot. So we're going to turn our toes out towards where our contact will be made, which would be out in here. So we're going to preload by turning our shoulders and raising our elbow. We can walk this way so we can find contact. After the ball bounces, we're going to take our racket back. We're going to point out towards contact. And we're going to pivot off our right foot, swing out to contact. And if you need to, you might take a little outside step to catch your balance because your weight should be moving out towards contact. Okay? So out of the ready position, we're going to raise our elbows, we're going to preload, we're going to turn our toes towards contact, we're going to be able to walk out towards contact. After the ball bounces, we're just going to take the racket back, take the handle back, we're going to pull our elbow towards contact, we're going to swing out towards contact, we're going to finish up over our shoulder, and then we're going to do a slight pivot on our toes, or you might do a little lateral step out.